So we're looking at 4x quantity to the negative 2, and half the class did one thing and half the class did the other thing, but they were both valid, at least the first step, okay? But there were a couple little glitches in the application after the first step, okay? So one of you applied this law, and one of you applied this law. They're both right. And whichever law you applied first, you got to apply the other one next. Okay? So you got these two laws, and they can be used in either order to get the right thing. So let's see how it works. One, we're using this law, said that we get 4 to the negative 2 times x to the negative 2. Okay? So that's perfectly valid. You know, ab raised to the c is a to the c times b to the c, right? Okay? Another said that 4x to the negative 2 equals 1 over 4x squared, although he did forget to leave the parentheses off of that, and then you made a mistake in the next step, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so, well, let's look at how this one continues. What do you do after you write 1 over the quantity 4x squared?
You square 4x.
Well, what do you square?
4x.
How do you do that? What do you get?
16x squared.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to do it that way because you actually skipped a step, but it's right.
Okay.
Okay, you didn't have your x squared the first time you wrote it down.
Right.
That's a common error, so you got to be careful about it. But I want to be literal with the laws. What law applies to 4x quantity squared? Well, it's this one, isn't it? It means you should have 4 squared times x squared, and you don't want to skip that step, or you might forget to put that square in the x, right?
Right.
Make sense? So you have 1 over 4 squared times x squared. And then that's real easy. 4 squared is 16, not 8, 16, be careful. Don't confuse exponentiation with multiplication, because I see that a lot. Okay? Good? Okay, now up here, what? 4 to the negative 2, x to the negative 2, right? So what do you do with 4 to the negative 2? Well, you see, you know, you apply this law, right? Okay, so that's going to be 1 over 4 squared. And then applying the same law, you get 1 over x squared, right? One step at a time. We don't make jumps because we're learning to use these laws. Now, after you've done about 100 of these, you learn what you can skip and what you can't. In the meantime, don't be skipping steps, okay? I'm not putting time limits. In my course, I don't put time limits on tests.
All right.
Okay? Now, in your course, because you're not taking my pre-calculus course, it might be different. We'll see. Okay, so anyhow, that comes out 1 over 16 times 1 over x squared, which equals 1 over 16x squared, because, of course, 1 times 1 is 1, 16 times x squared is 16x squared, right?
Right.
So you see that they ended up the same. And it didn't matter in which order we applied the laws. If the law applies, you can apply it. Okay? You don't have to worry about whether you're applying it in the right order or not. As long as you apply the law correctly, you'll get something equivalent to what you started with. So you won't be lost. Even if you went the wrong direction, you'll be able to get back. Okay? There's no right or wrong direction necessarily, but if you went in a direction that causes you to have to do 3 or 4 extra steps, you can still get there as long as you apply all the laws in an order that works and do it right each step. Okay?